Don't place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Hey traders, John Howell here. And in today's video, I'm going to be covering a major pattern that I've just actually noticed in the markets. And oh my goodness, you know, this I did not expect to see this, but we could be forming this pattern. So I just want to share that with you. And also what I want to talk about in today's video is why I see a really big disconnect between people that are doing well and people that are not doing well, and it's really it's something that I'm seeing right now. So anyway, guys, before I start, make sure you go down to johnsflashchart.com. I've got a whole complete trading course. If you are struggling with your trading right now, you need help with some chart reading, some trading systems, some mindset, and so much more. $7, guys. It's there to get you started in the right direction, okay? Especially if you've been losing a lot of money lately. I guarantee you this video number one, the top deadly mistakes, you're going to learn the mistakes you actually, I guarantee you that one video alone is worth 100 times more than just the $7, because it's going to stop making you going to get you to stop making those mistakes. Anyway, so the whole thing is this, guys, is that firstly I want to start off with the disconnect between people who are doing well in the market now and the people who are not doing well in the market right now. You know, and I see this through my private clients, and I see this through even YouTube, right? And then I'm going to get onto that massive, powerful pattern that could be deadly, you know. Now, guys, one thing is this, right? I do my YouTube videos and I do these market updates, and I like, you know, this is the S&P and this is the Dow Jones, and you know, this is what the indices are doing, right? S&P, Dow Jones, and all that sort of stuff. So we consider that's what's happening there right now. And I made a comment yesterday saying that I'm actually pretty bearish overall in the markets on the Dow Jones, but that does not mean that I'm not going that does not mean I'm not going to take bullish trades, right, on individual stocks. And I mentioned in yesterday's video that I'm actually bearish overall. Even if we rally up overall, I'm bearish over the next couple of years. I'm pretty bearish on the market, or at least flat. What I mean is, you know, down 20%, up 10%, you know, like, I don't believe the S&P and the Dow Jones are going to continue to make a massive bull run from here. I could be wrong with that, right? So, but do you see what I'm saying there? That is my thoughts. My thoughts on what I think about these markets, is just my thought, right? It's a thinking, thoughty, right? And so what you want to do, guys, is that you want to approach this market with not what you think, but what you see within your system. So if I am overall bearish on these markets right now, and we may get a rally to the upside, and we may even rally, you know, make a new high, who knows, right? Or we may actually drop down. I am bearish based on what I think and based on what I'm seeing with the markets overall as well too. But here is the thing. This is what I think. This is what I'm seeing in the markets right now. But if I have a trading system that I follow and it gives me a bullish setup, a bullish, B-U-L-L-I-S-H, I can't spell today, a bullish setup, guess what? I'm going to take it. And then yesterday I talked about how I was in two trades. I was in two trades that are bullish that have done really well for me over the last sort of month or so, and they've been bullish trades. And I was saying that even though I am overall bearish on the markets, and I still think the Dow Jones and the S&P. Okay, guys, I must step back here a bit. When I say the overall markets, I mean the Dow Jones and the S&P. I don't mean individual stocks. Okay, so what I mean by that is that because the Dow Jones and the S&P, look what the Dow Jones is doing. Okay, so the Dow Jones is not even nowhere near its highs. But I'm in a trade right now in ALT. Right, actually, let me bring up the candlesticks here. So I'm in a trade right now with ALT. If I bring up my weekly charts, I got in on ALT down here, right, on this breakaway bar through here. And all my private clients know that, right? So the thing is this, so there are many stocks out there that you can trade that are making big bull runs, big bear runs, not much going on. So whatever your system says, if you have a bullish setup, then you just take the setup. But I got some comments yesterday saying, well, if you're bearish in the markets, wouldn't it be better just to take bearish trades? And that's where you go wrong. You're trying to be right. You're trying to be better than the market. You're trying to pick and choose. This is not a pick and choosing game. If you have a system that is successful, and just say, for example, your system is a 70% success rate overall, okay? So that means that 7 times out of 10, 7 are winners, 3 are losses on average. But then suddenly you're like, oh, I'm bearish on the Dow Jones, so therefore I'm not going to take this bullish trade. Do you see how that's so incongruent with the system? If you have a system, you follow the system, not what you have your thoughts over here. And your thoughts is now like, oh, I'm not going to take this trade. So if you didn't take this trade, if this trade here was part of your system, you didn't take it. Now your system is now 65% success rate. And then there was another trade here that me and my private clients also took. It's a really, really nice trade. This was actually plug here. This plug trade right here was we actually got in on the breakaway bar through here. Okay, I got in and I actually was only in for a very, very short time, but I do know some of my private clients are actually still in this trade right now on this breakaway bar. There's another bullish trade that me and my private clients have taken. Again, I used it more of what I call a short-term trade. I was only in it for about a week and I made like a 70% return. I was in beautiful for that. And I know some of my other private clients are still in it right now and just blowing away. But if I had, well, I'm not going to take bullish trades because I think the market's going to crash and all these stocks are going to go down. Do you see how what my thoughts are about the markets, my thinking, my thoughts about the markets, and the way that I trade is such a disconnect there. You don't mess with the system and stop trying to be right. Stop trying to pick and choose. Stop trying to think, what trade's going to make money, what trade's not going to make money. Because I guarantee you, Murphy's Law is going to be the trades that you don't think is going to do well because you think the S&P is going to go down is the one that's going to rocket, like this one here, right? So we could see how that, just like with Plug and just like with ALT, again, I'm actually still in ALT right now. I've been in ALT for quite some time. But just like these trades, there is many stocks that are making massive moves that if you don't take it now, because you're trying to pick and choose within your system, now your system is a 60% win-loss ratio because you're trying to pick and choose. And then before you know it, it's just all over there. So that is the hardest thing. That is the biggest disconnect. The people who do good, G for good, and the people who do bad is that one thing. If you can start to align with that and stop trying to pick and choose and try to be right and try to not take the losing trades because you think it's going to be a losing trade and try to pick and choose which one's going to be the profitable trade and all that sort of stuff within the system that you follow, then that's where the biggest disconnect out there. Your thoughts about what you think about the market is just absolutely just, who cares? All you should care about is that I have a system, and if I follow this system, then I'm going to do well overall, right? So that's what I wanted to share with you there, guys, when it comes to your trading. Big disconnect. Me and some of my private clients are doing well because we don't pick and choose. Now, some of my private clients are still in that picking and choosing. They're like, well, I'm not going to take this trade, even though it looks like a pretty good setup, but I'm going to short the market right now because I think it's going to go down. What are you doing, you moron? No, don't do that. And and then suddenly like 6 months later, they come to me, oh my goodness, John, I just lost a lot of money. Oh my goodness, I need help. Oh. And that's the reason why I get so fired up about these people, because I'm just like, you're not listening to me. There's one guy here, I just email him all the time. You're doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Stay to the system, stick to the system. John, I wouldn't take that trade. It looks like an okay setup, but I'm just not too happy about it. But I'm going to buy some put options right now because I think the market's going to drop. Anyway, so on the S&P 500, this is the one thing that I was looking on with the S&P 500. If I bring up my big overall weekly charts through here, I squeeze my weekly charts up. This is something that I've been watching here now, and it's like, oh my goodness, I did not expect this. We have a potential shoulder through here and a potential head through. Now, this is a weekly chart. This has happened over many years. So if this year moving forward doesn't do much overall, we may get some downside movement. We may get some upside movement. We may get upside. if we start to do something like that, or in better neighborhood, if this is a left shoulder and a head, and this starts to form a right shoulder, and we start to do something like this overall this year, and then next year we start to do that, this is a massive head and shoulder formation, massive. And the projection, and when you do the projection, you measure from the head down through the support line, which they call the neckline. And if you project that down, this is the projection. See how I've got this trend line tool, and I measured from the head down to here. If this is a head and shoulder, and then I project that down from there to there, look what happens. Look what the projection, if we start to break, if we do come back down to here overall, that 2,400 level there, we could actually be in the makings to having a big drop back down to 1,600. Now, the interesting thing is when I bring up my monthly charts, look where the projection line is. Not a coincidence. Absolutely not a coincidence. The projection line comes right back down to bang, smack, support. Bang, a smack of support. So, oh my goodness, guys, I did not expect this.